Welcome to NIA English Channel. So you're listening because, well, you want your English to sound better, more natural, right?
hmm
You're probably past just getting the grammar right, and now you want that flow, that
That's
confidence.
exactly it, isn't it? It's that feeling of sounding comfortable. And, the funny thing is, people often think they need perfect pronunciation.
Right, like mimicking every single sound.
Exactly. But actually, fluency, sounding natural, it's much more about clarity, how you connect words, your rhythm,
Yeah.
the energy you bring. It's not about being a perfect copy.
Okay, so let's dive right into that. Because I think a lot of learners, especially maybe around A1, A2 level, get stuck on saying each word perfectly clearly, very carefully.
Yes, that very deliberate, sometimes slow sound.
And what we want to do today is unpack 11 really practical secrets,
Yeah.
things you can use like immediately to move past that careful stage and start sounding more connected, more smooth.
We're really looking at the mechanics behind the fluency, sort of the hidden rules native speakers use without even thinking about it.
Okay, let's get into the first big one. This is fundamental. Tip number 1, connected speech. I've heard you call this the biggest secret.
Well, if I had to pick just one thing, this is probably it. Connected speech. It's essentially how words hold hands in a sentence.
Hold hands, I like that. So not like separate islands.
Precisely. You don't stop the sounds completely between every single word. Think about a basic sentence. I want to eat an apple.
Okay, said clearly, word by word.
Right. But nobody really talks like that in normal conversation, do they? It sounds robotic.
Hmm.
Naturally, it flows together. I want to eat an apple. See how want to becomes wanna.
Yeah, instantly shorter.
And eaten, and that becomes eaten. The T sound links to the A and an apple. That sounds like an apple.
So the N links to the A. It's like the sound at the end of one word connects right into the vowel sound at the start of the next one.
That's the key mechanism. Consonant sound linking to a vowel sound. It creates a smooth bridge. It makes the whole thing faster and honestly easier to say. Less effort.
Easier. That's interesting. You'd think linking is harder.
Well, think about stopping and starting the airflow after every single word versus keeping a more continuous stream. It's physically less work to link them smoothly. English just has this natural rhythm like music.
Okay, another example. Like, what are you doing?
Great one. Very common. Slowly. What are you doing? Naturally. What you doing?
What you doing? Wow, yeah, that's completely different. What gen combine you gets reduced.
Exactly. And the G at the end of doing
Hmm.
often gets dropped in very casual speech. So doing, it's all about smoothness.
So a practical step for someone listening.
Okay, try this daily. Find one sentence from maybe a movie clip or a short video, just one sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to how a native speaker says it. Notice where the words connect. Then just repeat that one sentence 3 times, focusing only on making those connections smooth. Feel the words linking.
Like they're holding hands.
Exactly.
Okay, so connecting words is step 1. What naturally follows that? If we're connecting them, maybe we're also shortening them.
You got it. Tip number 2, reductions and contractions. These are the shortcuts. Everyone knows some, but maybe don't use them consciously all the time.
Right. They make speech faster, more natural sounding. Let's break them down. Reductions first, making sounds smaller.
Yeah, so we already mentioned gonna for going to and wanna for want to. Super common, I'm going to watch a movie.
Not, I am going to watch a movie in casual chat.
Definitely not. Or have to. Often becomes hafta. Like, I have to
Oh,
go
it's
now.
not have to, right, or got to.
Becomes gotta. You got to see this. These aren't mistakes. They're just efficient. Language naturally finds ways to save effort.
But there's a big warning sign here, isn't there, about when to use these?
Oh, absolutely crucial. These reductions, go on, wanna, have to, gotta. They are primarily for informal English. Talking with friends, family, relaxed situations.
So definitely not in, say, a formal presentation or a job interview.
Generally, no. You'd want to use the full forms there. I am going to work hard. Sounds more serious, more respectful.
What about that situation you hear sometimes, though? Like maybe a CEO in a meeting uses gonna. Does that mean the rule is changing?
That's a great point. It shows the nuance. A CEO might use Gona deliberately to sound more relatable, maybe build team spirit. It's a conscious choice,
Yeah.
often from a position of authority.
Ah, so it's about the speaker's intent and status sometimes.
Exactly. But for learners or anyone in a situation where you're not sure, the safest bet is always the full formal version. I am going to. You can't go wrong with that. It shows you know the rules.
Better safe than sorry. Okay, so that's reductions. What about contractions, the ones with apostrophes?
Right. These are more standard, even in writing sometimes.
Mm.
I am becomes I'm, you are, you're, he is, he's. They've Most learners know these,
Hmm.
but the ones that really impact spoken fluency are the negative contractions.
Ah, like do not becoming don't.
Yes, don't, isn't, can't, won't, wouldn't, haven't, doesn't. You have to get comfortable with these for spoken English.
Why is it so important?
Because saying the full form, like I do not know instead of I don't know, adds extra syllables. It breaks the rhythm. It makes your speech sound, well, a bit stiff or overly formal, even robotic in casual chat.
Okay, so practice these negative contractions until they're automatic. It isn't ready. We haven't decided.
Exactly. Make them second nature. It smooths things out immensely.
All right, so we've connected the words, we've shortened them. Now, how do we make it sound interesting, not just a flat stream of sound?
Ah, now we get to the music. Tip number 3, stress and emphasis. This is huge. English is not monotone. We don't give every word the same energy.
It's like the bold text or capital letters in writing,
Right.
right? It tells you what's important.
Perfectly put. Stress highlights the key information in your sentence. If you stress the wrong word or no words, the meaning can get lost, or worse, change completely.
Let's use that classic example. I didn't say she stole the money. Say that sentence, but change the stress word. What happened?
Okay, if I stress I didn't say she stole the money.
Meaning, someone else might have said it, but not me.
Exactly. Now stress is, I didn't say she stole the money.
Meaning, maybe I implied it, wrote it down, thought it,
Right.
but I didn't actually say it.
Right. Now stress stole. I didn't say she stole the money.
Meaning, maybe she borrowed it, found it, earned it, but stealing wasn't the action.
See? Same words, totally different implications just based on which word gets the emphasis, the energy.
That's powerful. So how do you know which words to stress? Is there a rule?
There's a very reliable rule of thumb. We generally stress content words.
Content words. Okay, what are those?
These are the words that carry the main meaning. Nouns, like park, money, main verbs, when, stole. Adjectives, new, important.
Mm-hmm.
And adverbs, yesterday, quickly.
Got it. The meaning carriers.
And we generally don't stress the small function words. These are the grammar words. Articles, the prepositions, to, in, on, at, helping verbs, is, are, have, do, pronouns, I, she, it.
So in a sentence like, I went to the park yesterday.
Exactly. When park, yesterday, get the stress. The little words I, to, they are unstressed, quick, and often reduced. That up and down energy is what makes English sound natural.
So practice focusing the energy just on those key content words.
Yes. Pick a sentence, identify the content words, and say it, putting extra punch just on those. It instantly makes you sound more expressive.
This idea of energy and flow leads nicely into our next segment, focusing more on the overall music. Let's talk about tip number 4, rhythm and pauses.
Yes, the natural beat. And importantly, reframing the idea of pausing. Many learners think pausing is bad, that it shows they don't know the word.
Right, like it's sign of weakness or lack of fluency.
But it's the opposite. Natural speech is full of pauses. They're not mistakes. They're crucial tools. Fluent speakers use pauses deliberately.
Okay, so why do we pause? What's the function?
Well, there are a couple of key reasons.
Mm-hmm.
First, pauses give the listener time to process what you've just said, especially if it's complex information. Think of commas and periods in writing. They mark natural places to breathe and digest.
Grammatical pauses, you could call them?
Exactly. But then there are the more powerful ones.
Yeah.
Rhetorical pauses. These are for effect, to build suspense, to add emphasis, to create emotion.
Like if you say, I have some news, then pause before revealing it.
Precisely. I have good news. That pause makes the good news feel more significant. It creates anticipation. Without pauses, speech just feels flat, like a runaway train.
And this ties into the rhythm, doesn't it? English isn't spoken like a machine gun rat-tat-tat-tat.
Not at all. It has a stress-timed rhythm. We talked about stressing content words. That naturally creates a pattern of strong and weak beats. ... Da.
Like I went to the market yesterday. Strong, soft, soft, strong, soft, soft.
Exactly that pattern. If you try to make every syllable equal, you sound robotic. Embracing that natural up and down rhythm, including the pauses between thought groups, is key to sounding musical, not mechanical.
Okay, you mentioned pauses aren't about lack of fluency, and that fluency isn't just speed. This seems like a good place to bring in tip number 9, which also deals with speed and pauses, but maybe focuses more on control.
Yes, exactly. Tip 9 reinforces that fluency is about flow and control, not just rushing. There's this common misconception that fluent speakers talk really fast.
Yeah, learners often try to speed up thinking that's the goal.
And sometimes they just end up sounding rushed and unclear. The truth is, confident speakers control their pace. They vary it. Slow speech can be incredibly fluent and confident if it's smooth and deliberate.
So it's not about being fast, it's about using speed strategically.
Absolutely. Think about great communicators. They often slow right down when they want to emphasize a key point or explain something complex. That slowness signals importance. It makes the listener pay attention.
And then they might speed up for other parts.
Right. Maybe when telling a quick background story or listing examples, that change of pace keeps things interesting. It prevents monotony. Strategic silence, a well-placed pause, can also be powerful. It makes the listener lean in, wanting to hear what's next.
So how can someone practice this control?
Here's a fantastic exercise. Record yourself talking about something simple. First, speak at your normal pace. Then, record it again, but speak deliberately slowly, maybe half your normal speed. And consciously take a small, silent pause after every single sentence.
Okay.
Now listen back to the slow version. I bet you'll find you sound much calmer, more authoritative, more in control. It instantly boosts how confident you sound, even if the words are simple. Slow and smooth often beats fast and messy.
We've got the connections, the shortcuts, the stress, the rhythm, the controlled speed. Now let's talk about the actual words we're using within that structure. Tip number 8, power words.
Ah, yes, upgrading your vocabulary.
Yeah.
This is about moving beyond the basic, maybe A1, A2 level words like good, bad, big, small, happy. They're fine, but they don't carry much punch.
They're a bit bland.
Exactly. Power words are words that have more specific meaning, more emotional weight, more color. They paint a clearer picture for the listener.
Okay, give us some examples. Let's take good. How can we upgrade good?
Well, it depends on the context.
Mm.
If you're talking about food, instead of good, you could say delicious, tasty, mouth-watering.
Yeah, much better. What about a good day?
Instead of just good, maybe it was amazing, wonderful, fantastic, splendid. See how much more descriptive those are?
Definitely. Okay, let's do bad.
Bad could become awful, terrible, dreadful, horrible.
Gives you a much stronger sense of negativity. How about happy?
Happy could be thrilled, ecstatic, overjoyed, delighted, elated,
And big.
huge, enormous, massive, gigantic.
Using these power words, it makes you sound less like you're just reporting facts and more like you're telling a story, engaging the listener's emotions.
That's precisely the impact. It shows a richer vocabulary, sure, but more importantly, it makes your communication more vivid and memorable. My advice: for every common, basic adjective, try to learn 2 or 3 power word alternatives. Gradually build up your word power.
Right, we've covered the mechanics, the music, the word choice. Now let's put this into the real world. How does English function out there? Tip number 5, regional accents. This is a big one for many learners.
Oh, absolutely. There's often this anxiety about having the wrong accent or trying to sound exactly like a specific type of native speaker, maybe American or British.
Yeah, this quest for the perfect accent.
And the reality check is, there is no single perfect English accent. English is spoken globally with hundreds of variations. Think US, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, India, Singapore.
And even within those countries, someone from Texas sounds very different from someone from New York. London English isn't the same as Scottish English.
Exactly. So the goal shouldn't be to erase your own accent, which is part of your identity and your story. The goal should be clarity and intelligibility. Can people understand you easily?
That's the real test.
Yes. If you are clear and confident, your accent is not a problem. In fact, many native speakers find different accents interesting, even charming. Worrying too much about your accent can actually make you sound less fluent because it makes you hesitant and self-conscious.
So embrace your accent, focus on being clear. What's a practical way to get more comfortable with different accents?
Train your ear. Don't just listen to one type of English. Actively seek out movies, TV shows, podcasts, YouTube channels from different English-speaking regions. Watch something Australian, then something Irish, then something Canadian.
Get your brain used to the variety.
Exactly. The more accents you expose yourself to, the better you'll become at understanding them, and the less worried you'll be about your own.
Okay, sticking with real-world English, let's talk about the stuff that changes all the time. Tip number 6, modern slang.
Ah, slang. The fashion of language. It's what makes spoken English sound current and, well, real, especially in casual settings. You hear it constantly in movies, music, online.
It definitely makes you sound less like a textbook. We mentioned basics like cool for good or awesome for really good. What are some others people might hear?
Well, slang changes so fast, it's tricky. But you might hear things like lit, which used to mean like exciting or really fun, though maybe it's fading a bit now.
Haha, see? Already changing.
Exactly. Or maybe someone says something is sus, meaning suspicious. Well, they talk about a certain vibe, the feeling or atmosphere. No cap, meaning seriously or no lie.
Okay, using these can make you sound more integrated, more natural with friends. But another big warning sign here, right?
Huge warning sign. Slang is almost exclusively for very informal situations. Friends, maybe some family. Absolutely never use slang like lit or sus or no cap in a professional setting, a job interview, an academic paper.
It would sound completely out of place and unprofessional.
Totally. And because slang changes so quickly, using outdated slang can make you sound a bit silly. The best approach is to listen a lot, observe how native speakers use it in context, and only use it yourself when you're really sure it fits the situation and the audience. Be a good listener first.
Listening and observing native speakers, that brings us to tip number 7. Set phrases. These seem like vocabulary shortcuts.
They absolutely are. Think of them as ready-made blocks of language. Native speakers don't construct every single sentence word by word from grammar rules. We use these prefabricated chunks all the time. Linguists call them lexical chunks or formulaic language.
Okay, like, how are you? We don't really think about the individual words how plus are plus you, do we?
Not at all. It comes out as one unit. Same with see you later, have a nice day, nice to meet you, can you help me please? These are stored in our brains as single items.
And using these makes speaking smoother because you're not constantly searching for the next word.
Exactly. It frees up your mental energy. Instead of building everything from scratch, you grab a ready-made phrase that fits the situation. For learners, memorizing common conversational phrases is incredibly efficient.
What are some useful ones for, say, expressing opinions or uncertainty?
Oh, definitely things like, what do you think? In my opinion.
Okay.
I'm not sure about that. That sounds great, to be honest,
Yeah.
as far as I know.
So learn these phrases as whole units.
Yes, and practice saying them out loud, focusing on the natural connected speech and rhythm until they become automatic. Like remembering song lyrics. When you need one in a conversation, it'll just pop out smoothly.
Using the right phrase also depends on who you're talking to. Which brings us neatly to tip number 10, formal versus informal English. Choosing the right tone.
Crucial for sounding socially aware, which is a big part of fluency. Your English style needs to adapt. You wouldn't speak to your best friend the same way you speak to your boss, or a university professor, or a customer service representative.
Right, so what are the key differences?
Informal English is generally more relaxed. Sentences might be shorter. You'll use lots of contractions. Don't. And reductions. Gotta wanna. You use slang with friends. Greetings might be, hey, what's up? Or just, hi.
Okay. And formal English.
Formal English is more polite, often uses more complex sentence structures, and avoids contractions, reductions, and slang. You use complete words like cannot instead of can't, going to instead of gonna. Greetings are more like, good morning, how are you today? Vocabulary might be different too, using require instead of need, or assist instead of help.
So, hey, what's up? Versus good morning, how are you today? Very different feel.
It's completely different. And using the wrong style can cause problems. Using overly casual language in a formal setting can seem disrespectful. Using very formal language with close friends might make you sound cold or distant.
So what's the guideline if you're not sure which style to use?
When in doubt, always start more formally. It's always safer and shows respect. You can usually become more casual later if the other person uses informal language, but it's much harder to recover if you start too informally in a situation that required formality.
Start formal, then adjust if needed. Good rule. Okay, we're almost there. Our final tip, number 11, is about keeping the conversation flowing dynamically, natural reactions.
Yes, this is about making the conversation feel human and alive. It's not just about taking turns to speak long sentences. It's about showing you're listening and engaged, even when the other person is talking, sometimes called back-channeling.
What kinds of things count as natural reactions?
They're often very small words or sounds, things like, oh, really? Wow, I see. Okay, right, got it. That's interesting. No way.
These little interjections that show you're following along.
Exactly. Imagine you tell me I just got a promotion, and I just stare you blankly and wait for you to say more.
That would be weird and awkward.
Right. But if I immediately say, wow, congratulations, that's amazing, it keeps the energy up, shows I'm happy for you, and makes the conversation feel like a real connection.
And these are useful for learners too, right? Because they don't require complex grammar.
Incredibly useful. If you need a moment to think or you don't know exactly what to say next, a simple, well-timed or I see keeps you actively involved in the conversation's rhythm. You're participating, even without a full sentence.
So don't just be silent when listening. Use these small reactions.
Yes, practice them. Even simple ones like, that's nice, or oh dear,
Yep.
depending on the news. They make you sound engaged, empathetic, and keep the conversational ball rolling. It's about being present in the interaction.
Wow, okay. That was a really comprehensive look at the elements of natural, confident English, a true deep dive.
We covered a lot of ground. Should we do a quick recap of those 11 secrets?
Good idea. So first, the mechanics. Tip 1 was connected speech, linking words smoothly.
Tip 2, reductions and contractions, the shortcuts, like gonna and don't.
Then the music. Tip 3, stress and emphasis, highlighting key words for meaning.
Tip 4, rhythm and pauses, using the natural beat and pausing effectively.
And tip 9, relatedly, speed and pauses, focusing on control over just speed.
Then upgrading content. Tip 8, power words using vivid vocabulary instead of basic words.
And understanding identity and context. Tip 5, regional accents, embracing yours, and focusing on clarity.
Tip 6, modern slang, using it carefully in casual settings.
Tip 7, set phrases, memorizing chunks for fluency.
Tip 10, formal versus informal English, choosing the right style for the situation.
And finally, tip 11, natural reactions using back-channeling like and wow to stay engaged.
That's the full set. Remember, you don't have to master all of these overnight. Fluency is built step by step.
Yeah, maybe just pick 1 or 2 of these tips to focus on this week. Perhaps work on connecting just one common pair of words, or try using one new power word.
Exactly. And please, don't be afraid of making mistakes. Mistakes are just proof you're trying, proof you're learning and pushing your boundaries. The real goal is clear communication, confidence, and, speaking with heart. That's what truly connects with people.
Well said. Connecting with people.
And just a final thought to leave you with. We talked a lot about using stress and pauses for clarity, but think about the opposite. When might someone intentionally use slightly unclear stress? Or maybe an overly polite pause? Sometimes ambiguity itself can be a tool, especially in negotiations or delicate social situations. Something to notice next time you're watching a tense dialogue in a film, perhaps.
Interesting food for thought. Using ambiguity strategically. If you're a beginner, check our easy version here.
And please, if you found this helpful, subscribe, like, and share this video with your friends who are also learning English.
Thanks so much for joining us on this deep dive today.
Goodbye.